And I'm the guy who built this airplane. This is a Monocoupe 110 Special. It has a real short wing, and it was built in the Monocoupe factory under special orders. Only 7 were built, and so that's how I got the name Special. And if you look, you can see that the wings are really quite short. I can almost reach out to the ends of them. And most of the Monocoupes have a wing almost 10 feet longer. And this one is designed especially for racing. This is one that I recreated. 2064 was destroyed in 1940 when the guy was practicing for an air show. And all the rest of the guys who own these don't let their children fly them. They don't let anybody fly them. They're even afraid to spin them. And I had my kids up in this thing, spinning it, flying it solo, doing aerobatics in it, and just had some wonderful times.
It started with the long wing monocoupe, the 90AW, which is tail number NC18166, which Dad campaigned on the air show circuit for many, many years. And we grew up with, Mark and I. We traveled all across the country, strapped in next to Dad. Eventually that airplane sold so that this airplane could be built. And this airplane is the hot rod version of that very same airplane. This is the air racing version of the Monocoupe. It's not the kind of airplane that just anybody can get in and fly. It takes some special training and some special skills. You have to fly this airplane with intent and serious intent. It's hard to fly. It's hard to fly well.
This was such a challenge for me in the beginning. It taught me that you can't approach every airplane the same, and you have to start with a completely fresh outlook. Visibility is a little bit of a problem. Taxiing is challenging. The airplane has a lot of power and it goes fast, but it's not naturally stable. It's a lot of work. You got to be ready for it every time you fly it.
Okay, the airplane started with just factory drawings. I had a factory drawing of the body. I had to cut out all the steel tubes, weld them together, and then put the woodwork on it, and then later on put the fabric cloth over and paint it.
Yeah, it was only, what, 6 months or so? It took me to build it.
Well, it's short, you know. It shouldn't have taken too long, you know.
Yeah, but all the ribs are just put closer together. You still have to make all the ribs. The wheel pants and the cowling and things like that are also handmade out of fiberglass. So the whole thing is just entirely homemade. And so it was exciting to work with the FAA on certificating in standard category a homemade airplane. But it worked. There's 2 days that I always remember, and that's the 2 different days I soloed these 2 guys. It was just really wonderful to see these 2 kids get in this airplane and fly it away. And then see them doing aerobatics. And I'd sit on the ground with a radio, and the kids would be up flying aerobatics. And
he's a tough coach.
And then the airplane, sometimes if you didn't do it just right, it would put you in inverted spin.
Oh, yeah.
And the kids got a chance to experience inverted spins when all the rest of the guys are afraid to spin their airplane, their Monocoupes. So they've had some real good times.
I missed this airplane terribly when it sold.
When Dad sold the clip wing, it went to a guy out in Pennsylvania, Richard Smith, who also took good care of it.
And then the airplane stayed there for 15 years. And then the museum purchased it and brought it back here. So it's back to the Northwest where I can see it.
Now that you have NC18166 and NC2064, your collection isn't complete without the caricature toy that I had, and
wow,
the airplane that was the proof of concept for the paint scheme for NC1866.
It's been a mission to get these 2 airplanes and get these guys all back together here, and I'll tell you, it really tugs at my heart. All I have to do is fly the damn thing now, and we'll be all set. So, but Fred, I can't thank you enough.
Oh, you're welcome,
I mean that
buddy.
from my heart.
It's something that I never actually thought possible, so that's a pretty special thing.
The North Cascades Vintage Aircraft Museum, in fact, both of Dad's airplanes are here. There couldn't be a better home for these airplanes.
It's a real feather in the hat of this museum to have this scarce airplane.